everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, and we are continuing on with a Trials and Tribulations game. We are on Episode 5, Bridge to the Turnabout, Part 4-1 Trial. And as always, since it says Part 4-1, there's going to be a second part to this. So there's going to be a Part 4-2, possibly more. But what we learned last time, and something that's really big, is that Dahlia and Iris are sisters. And not only that, but Dahlia, Iris, and Pearl are sisters. So, Dahlia and Iris, of course, look to be twins. Pearl, of course, is not like a triplet or whatnot. But since Dahlia we suspect to be dead, we think that someone tried to get possessed by her or whatever, like the spirit medium kind of thing. That's kind of what we're expecting right now. But let's go ahead and look at the trial here. So Iris is not evil. That's kind of what we were initially thinking, that she was actually Dahlia, but no, she's just got a twin sister. So, February 10th at 9:39. Oh, and I don't think Pearl knows yet. I don't think we told her. So, good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Morning, Pearls. Yes. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to Mystic Maya. I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed in the inner temple. Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those tricky locks in the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be in the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? You know, that's a good question, actually. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Oh, thank you, Edgeworth. What's she doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutors as we speak. Today's testimony. You heard me. Iris is going to be the witness as... Oh, testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait. So, the person you suspect is going to be a witness? Okay, Okay, the prosecutor is squeezing out her for a confession. I know what you're going to think, but Francisca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. Who else would it be but Godot? Of course it's gotta be Godot, okay? He hates us. Francisca is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. You don't mean she's... Exactly. She has been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. Good for her! Oh, Francisca's wonderful. With the head nun's assistance, naturally, we estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. So, in just enough time for the court trial proceedings to be over. Great. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. But perhaps... Oh, be prepared to fight. There's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Come on, I know. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden fanatic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold on to someone else? Literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Partner? I wonder if we gave the cold to Godot. That'd be nice. I still don't have any answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Misty Faye, now that we know it's her. The impossible flight Larry claimed to have seen that he thought was Iris. And what that woman is really after. Morgan Faye? Yes. Pearl, Iris, and Dahlia's mother. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Oh, you think so? You think so, Phoenix. Okay. Well, I hope it does come to an end too. Like, I don't want the game to end, but I hope that all of this ends good. Okay. So, court is now in session for the trial of Iris of the Temple. Yes. Your Honor? What are you? Oh, who me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers early this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. Wait. So, he is a twin? I see, Your Honor. They're brothers. That explains a lot. He doesn't look any different. My poor brother, he looked a bit pale. Not to mention that he couldn't be here. Oh. Do we pass on our cold to him? Oh. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the Corps have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot, well said. I understand exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyways. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. Justice! Oh, the bitter darkness that lies in the bottom of this mug. Is it really? Yeah, do you have to bring everything up to coffee? So then you mean, forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she had a change of heart. Sister Iris of the Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first? Exactly. Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. My name's Iris, but I'm a simple nun undergoing training at the temple. Witness, is there anything that you want to confess to? Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright, what is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in that terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Misty Faye? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic... Oh, yeah. And carried it to the temple courtyard, where I desecrated it. What? So she did stab her, but she was already dead. Okay. Order in the court. Order. Witness, are you saying that you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. Well, she's still saying she didn't murder her, so I mean, that's fine. 3 minutes in court, and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Ha! Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just so happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Murder? Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? Heh, Mr. Godot. So this is the confession that we were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Her sister. Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket. I've been at the temple ever since I was a little girl. It is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. But main family? Yes, that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master... Maya Fey. Protect her? Huh? Are you saying Maya killed her? I don't believe it. Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. Oh. She meaning Maya? Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my own eyes, and then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. This could be a lie, too. It could be. The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. Okay. I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. Mystic Alicia strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, the victim moved to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. Oh, self-defense. That makes it perfectly fine. Yes. The victim... Oh, what was the one who attacked first? Okay. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday. The iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that person who did go was that woman, Dahlia. Now then, right? Cross-examination. Okay. Okay, I do have something I want to press on her. Oh, yes, here. So the fatal strike. She moved to deliver a fatal strike. I don't think Maya would have done that. I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached her... Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? She said a dagger, yes. She tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye? Yes, exactly. Ha! You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce? Oh, gosh. That would suck. Do you have a problem with the testimony you're hearing from the client? There is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. But this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless, that's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. But he's the judge. Let's continue. Okay, she threw away her staff and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. Why would she need to have a dagger when she has her staff sword thing? Let's go ahead and present that. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with the staff is hit someone. Are you sure about that? Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. A sword. Ah. If she really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed a separate dagger. She already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Iris, what do you have to say? Maybe she messed up. Maybe she threw half the staff on the ground and kept the other. That was a bit impressive, bit of investigating, Wright. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarter combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Anyways, the type of weapon she chose or used isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright, I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony won't be trusted. Okay, her profile. She would never attack Maya Fey. Because that's her, that would technically be her daughter, yeah. So her real name is not that. Her real name is Misty Fey. No, not Misty Fey. Who is this? Who is she related to? Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Exactly. Why would she kill her daughter? Is it really true, Mr. Wright? She was actually the great mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation to why she would do such a thing. Huh? Having trouble, Godot? About the only thing I could see them doing is saying like, oh, it's been 17 years. She wouldn't recognize Maya. That's the only thing I could maybe believe. Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two battling were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Thank you, Judge! Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing. Yes? What is that one little thing? You still don't get it. You think that maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. I knew it was going to be about coffee beans. Or coffee in general. Could you get to your point, please? I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Nah, he drinks coffee all the time. It's fine. Anyways, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty, a little knife. Okay. So the dagger's real. Obviously, Your Honor, what do you not know? Do you not notice something else? There's blood on it. There appears to be blood on it. Blood. Okay. Where do you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Guess you didn't look hard enough. Do you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? Pine tree? Dagger was stuck in the backside of the tree. I was stuck on the backside? We only get a 2-dimensional view. That's not fair. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on the dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Were you even listening, old man? First I heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken my first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Oh my gosh, he really is killing himself with that. Didn't you just say your 8th just a few minutes ago? That was his 13th of morning. This is his 8th of afternoon coffee, okay? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that the blood be tested, okay, immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab. Now then, the testimony we've heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie, ever. Are you sure about that? Are you really sure? Any case, witness, if you could please testify again to the court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. So the battle. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Misty Fae. I'm going to start saying Misty Fae now. The next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Misty was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. And then she got stabbed. That's when Maya stabbed her. Misty managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. Okay, that's about the only thing I could believe. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay. So... yeah, let's present... where is it? We need the autopsy report. Yes. Stabbed in the back. Okay, that's definitely not the back. And she didn't fall 10 feet, so that doesn't make sense. Something isn't right about the testimony. Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong with my testimony? According to you, Maya Faye stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern. Yes, that's correct. But in the case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. It appears another seed of doubt was sprouted from your testimony. Also, the 10 feet fall, okay? That's also something you needed to talk about. What? What's the meaning of this, right? Ha! It's simple. What's simple? People are like books. We've all got a front and back, if you get my drift. Ah, is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, people fighting mother and daughter. Now, she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach when they actually got stabbed in the back. Certainly there are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, what about it? Well, it's just... oh, she's crying. Too bad. If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? Oh, him and his coffee. There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. Him and his coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all senses. Were you really concentrating on what the witness actually said? Okay, prosecutor, explain yourself. The witness was quite ambiguous about her own... okay. The garden was dark, she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that's light. So you're saying that she could have been stabbed in the back instead? Because she couldn't see very well? By the way, did you know? The temple has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is on the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. Okay. If that's true, should the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Exactly. Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to head nun such a bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light the stone lantern. It hadn't been used in so a long time, and the wick was no good. It had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been faint light coming from the training hall. Okay, motion lightning. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. No, it hasn't. No. If the staff was dropped, it would have been difficult to see. Also explains why they didn't recognize... oh, I guess that doesn't recognize. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? Order, order. Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe we can rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Why isn't the judge? Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern, there's something written on it. Ooh, it's written in blood. Yeah, he sees that now. Oh boy. He didn't know about that yet. Written in blood. It says Maya upside down. I guess it kind of does. What the? Godot didn't see that too? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, she didn't fall down right away. She must have written that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. It clearly looks that way. Hang on, just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? The message written in blood. Nonsense! This lantern, it was clean as a whistle. Is he blind? It's not clean as a whistle. Could it be? He can't see the blood written in all of this? Oh. Now that I think about it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So we can't see blood. Okay. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. Now we know that the crime scene was dark. That the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Anything further, Mr. Godot? Mr. Godot? Okay then. Let's move on. He's literally shaking somehow. I don't think it's from the caffeine overdose. It might be partially because of that. I believe it now has been established that no, Misty was killed by Maya. No, that's just wrong. No. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Yeah, she said she grabbed the body and took it to the courtyard. Okay, after she died, I called to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the temple. Okay, so I should remove the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way to the dusky bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to the temple. And then you stabbed it with a sword at the statue. I used the sword to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body. Yes. I was raised at the temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that that was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate, yes. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But you were spotted by the head nun. Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, it does make sense, actually. Go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. So... So, the tracks for the snowmobile. We still have a problem with that. So let's go ahead and press on that. Yes, I have the key. I used the snowmobile to return to the travel to the temple to the Dusky Bridge. About the tracks, yes. If you really did move her body by the snowmobile, then there would be tracks left in the snow. Exactly, there's only one set, not two sets. But only see one set of tracks. I don't see what that's so strange about that. Snow is still falling. No, we already talked about that. There was no snow on the body. And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why they're... Oh, wait. So, she left the temple before the murder. It was still snowing, and by the time they got back, the snow had stopped. That's what she's saying. Okay. How about it, Mr. Wright? I'd say it's very important. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Irish has made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? Of course it does. Of course it does. All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. This should be fun. Okay. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. Okay, let's loop back around. Only one reason. Okay. Okay, so for this, let's go ahead and present the weather data. You claim that snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. Exactly. This weather data from the night of the murder, according to that, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed the bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, the bridge was struck by lightning and caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about that? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. But it can't be. It can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of the real defense attorney. Order. The bridge is already on fire when the incident took place. That's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Oh, Godot's still too cool with his coffee. The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. What? Me? How dare you? He's the judge. Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. What's important now is that we find out the truth, isn't that right? Yes, of course. Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not burning, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body was discovered in the courtyard, and second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating the body. So we're back to the very beginning. We've got nothing. Makes a good point. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy? It was only human to err. If you're so perfect, Trite, maybe you can explain this for the court. When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt, yes. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick? Not exactly, no. Must be some other way to get across the burnt out bridge. Looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. See what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. I mean, we figured out that she lied. She's been lying this whole time. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About that, Your Honor. You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contains a rather large inconsistency. Please add your explanation for that in your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be your final testimony? Probably not. I'm always betting no. Okay, other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling, or had it just stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? Flying, perhaps? So it's just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. It certainly was burned to a crisp. Maybe she swung across a rope, like Tarzan. No, I'm kidding. One of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge. Okay, we got the picture. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. Trite, I'm not going to say it one more time. It was only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Final! I want to present Larry's picture. Where is it? Crime scene photo. There's Larry's photo. Okay. Objection! You flew! I know! You're a witch. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? Ha! You're saying it's possible! Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's being pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! It's Larry! Of course! Who is it? Who's this witness? I can't chicken out here. Gotta keep on the attack and go, go, go. The highly gifted apprentice, Larry. Brilliant. Highly gifted apprentice? Yeah. Remember what he said in his testimony? The night he was at the Heavenly Hall, and that's when he witnessed the event. I think you all seen the sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? That is actually a good picture, okay? I will fight for that. Oh, the judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm going to prove it. Wait, what if there's a zip line? If there's a zip line going across there between like 2 trees or something like that, it could look like she was flying. It's probably a zip line, isn't it? I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Okay, upside down. Why did Godot say that? Well, Larry was looking at it from upside down. What exactly is the sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whisker Face is going to forgive me for any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch was drawn by Larry. A complete contradiction. Something is obviously funny about the sketch. Yeah, you don't say. I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. No. That's not what I meant, Your Honor. He stated it over and over that the sketch was exactly what he saw. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, tried. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? So what I want to point to is probably one of these wires here. Wires connected to the bridge. The wire. Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us reality is supposed to conflict with. Okay, present the... I think it's the picture that we got a second ago. Yeah, I think it should be this one. Because I don't see a wire there. Yeah, I don't see one there. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge. Yes, now compare the sketch to the photo. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. This one is below. Jumping Jehoshaphat! The wires are below the guard wires. So yeah, he was looking at it from upside down. So she was below the bridge. Order. The sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong? Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Larry, I admit a mistake is definitely a possibility. But then begs the question. Why did he make a mistake? What was this reason? Are you saying you know what the answer to that is? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larry was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for his lover that was never going to come. He waited and finally he laid down. Then lightning struck and set the bridge afire. No. Now ponder what sort of position he might have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. But it does, Your Honor, yes. That's the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. No way. Larry witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. You could have probably started with that. That's easier to understand. So then the sketch would actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view the sketch is like that. Wait, are you saying she fell off the bridge? It could have fell off the bridge. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right. Just like a pendulum. It was swinging like Tarzan. Oh. Order. Of all the things to say a pendulum. The bridge is burning to a crisp. There is no way to get across it. And if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is why the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across the other way. A pendulum was the only way to get it done. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. That sounds about right, yeah? In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope that's at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have a plan ahead. Okay. The lightning strike that night only have been an accident. It doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope already. The rope was already right in front of them. It was just a matter of using what was there. Wait, the mooring ropes for the boats, right? In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. Makes you think that the criminal had rope on hand to create the pendulum. Okay. Or. See that rope there? See that rope? I see that rope that they could swing on. Okay. Yeah. And the meaning of this, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. This is one of those wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge, set it afire. One of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tried the wire. Oh, they tied the wire around her body. Oh my gosh. How did it come undone up there, though? Because there was simply no other way to move the body. That would have needed a lot of force to do that. Oh, dang, he's gulping down that coffee. Look at him. Mr. Godot? He's going to overdose. Okay. It seems that Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available is very high, so I suppose that it's not impossible after all. Impossible or... Oh, possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Wright, I wonder if you can prove that it happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence the body was swung over like a pendulum? I mean, wouldn't we be able to show this orb? Because the orb was found next to the bridge. So I think we should be able to show this. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Look at the map. We can see that it was the one on the front inner temple. And that was where the criminal... Oh, the spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. Let's consider the body movement by looking at the overhead map again. Body was pushed from here. Swung down over to the other side. Do you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch a body on the other bank. What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests the body dropped some distance. The 10-foot distance! That's right! The autopsy report. It says her body fell 10 feet. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, then came loose and fell 10 feet. Then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, the blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off the staff. And even more important, to the place where the crystal sphere is found. Crystal was found, precisely, Your Honor, in the very spot where the pendulum would arrive. Or where the body would drop, I guess. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with the way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. He threw coffee at me! That should be illegal! I think that's the second time that's happened. I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? It was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Wright. But you forgot about one thing. What would that be? The aroma. Of the coffee? Coffee's most reliable accomplice is a deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. The criminal wasn't able to cross the dusky bridge, so who collected the body? It was Pearl. Wait, would have been Pearl. What do you have to say? Mr. Godot is correct. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. The body couldn't have made it to the temple without an accomplice. Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person retrieving the body on the side? Well, I mean, Pearl was over on the other side, so maybe Pearl was the one that sent it over. Pearl that was being possessed by Dahlia. So it had to be Iris on the other side, because then she wouldn't have got back over. So yeah, it had to be Iris. Okay. It can only be you, Sister Iris. But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. With her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Plus, you had the key to the snowmobile. Wright, were you even listening to witness testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at the temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed, almost as if on that night there were the defendant was at two different places. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by this witness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known, right? No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to cluelessly about the whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. Is this Dahlia? What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of the temple? Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is... Do I present Dahlia's profile now? There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. It's why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman who's standing before us... Her real name is... Okay, let's get the profile. Dahlia Hawthorne, deceased. Never thought I'd be uttering your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings bells, distant bells. It's your imagination, Gramps. The file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. These people are spirit mediums, okay? It's not that crazy. Ah, yes, I remember now. Case 5 years ago. My name's Dahlia Hawthorne. Just want to say it's nice. It's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. But, according to this, she's already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? So what? So what if she's dead? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? Is Godot actually helping me here? Order. Wait a moment. How can you, my sister? She's already dead. What kind of... You of all people should already understand, after all. The blood of the masters of the Korean channeling technique flows within your body. That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone? What if this is Maya? What if this is Maya the whole time? On the very night of the murder to the temple, where her twin sister Iris was? Well, if you're going to put things that way, then we're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens? In this game, it does. It very much does in this game. Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. All written right here in these instructions. These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay, and part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at the temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out as soon as you hear the lights out bell. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means that Iris was at the dinner for the real... Oh, wait. That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, Dahlia Hawthorne. So it had to be Pearl or Maya that was channeling her. It had to be. This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found the plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing is the real Iris. What? How do you know for sure? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, Dahlia Hawthorne had been channeled. Would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that it was later that the body was moved by pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would have meant that the iris that received the body was the real iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to the temple main hall. That's where they found Iris in her room and arrested her. Even since she's been under police suspicion at the detention center. Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that. Thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. Something seems off. It's still not convinced that Iris here is the same one from the other night. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places. Switch places. To be perfectly honest, there's still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at the temple, have there been any chances that Iris switched places with Dahlia Hawthorne? Ooh! Ooh! Maybe when she was with Edgeworth. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Yesterday, for a few minutes, her whereabouts were unknown. When Edgeworth, the earthquake happened? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move around freely unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murderer suspect time to move freely like that? I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person that gave her the chance was Edgeworth. Oh, sorry, Edgeworth. Sorry to throw you under the bus, but this is Miles Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake? There definitely was. Oh my goodness. The Inner Temple? This kind of tremor might. She fled, she escaped, yeah. He's still scared of his earthquakes. We went to the Inner Temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would... Oh, be quiet. It is Dahlia. It is her. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Name and profession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, ask her her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession, permanently retired. Ha! So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. It's what's going on here. Dahlia Hawthorne. Never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time I'll end it, for her and for myself. To be continued! There we go. The truth comes out. So, Dahlia and Iris kind of like switched places, like mind-wise. And that's what's happening. But I almost bet, okay, since Iris had to be on the other side of the bridge. Okay, did I just save? I did, okay. So I'm guessing since Iris had to be on the other side of the bridge, then my guess is that Pearl got possessed by her, and then they used Pearl to throw her on the pendulum, and then Iris got possessed by Dahlia, and Dahlia did all the other stuff, possibly. So it could have only been Dahlia. It could have only been her, I guess, using both bodies. But I guess we'll figure out later. So, Anyways, thank you all for watching. We will continue on with episode 5, Bridge to the Turnabout, part 4-2, Trial next time. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. So, bye-bye.